Scientists have discovered something terrifying at the bottom of the ocean that will shock you to the core. Hidden beneath 5,000 meters of crushing darkness, researchers have uncovered secrets that challenge everything we thought we knew about our planet. The race is now on among governments, billionaires, and scientific institutions to explore what could be the most significant discovery of the century. Join us as we learn what is happening and what has been found at the bottom of the ocean. Let's go. Number 15. The trillion-dollar seafloor treasure. Picture this: unassuming potato-sized rocks scattered across the ocean floor that contain some of Earth's most valuable metals. But these aren't ordinary rocks. They're polymetallic nodules worth an estimated $3 trillion. These dark, lumpy formations might look like pieces of charcoal, but they're packed with copper, nickel, cobalt, and manganese, the exact materials desperately needed for electric vehicle batteries and renewable energy technology. The Clarion-Clipperton Zone, CCZ, holds the mother lode of these nodules. Spanning 4.5 million square kilometers between Hawaii and Mexico, this deep-sea plain is larger than the entire European Union. The incredible value of these resources has sparked a quiet but intense global competition. Mining companies have been eyeing this underwater treasure chest for decades, but harvesting these nodules presents unprecedented challenges. These nodules formed over millions of years as minerals in the seawater gradually accumulated around small cores like shark teeth or rock fragments. Number 14. The oxygen anomaly that defies science. The laws of nature seem to break down 5,000 meters below the surface when Scottish scientists made a discovery that left them questioning everything they knew. Dr. Andrew Sweetman and his team from the Scottish Association for Marine Science weren't hunting for treasure. They were studying something far more fundamental: how oxygen moves through deep-sea environments. They deployed sophisticated landers, robotic laboratories designed to sink to the seafloor and conduct experiments without human intervention. These machines carried specialized equipment including benthic chambers that sealed off samples of mud and seawater to measure oxygen consumption by microorganisms. The experiment should have been straightforward. In these sealed chambers, microbes would gradually consume oxygen, and sensors would track the decreasing levels. But something impossible happened. Oxygen levels started rising instead of falling. Number 13. The self-organizing seabed. The deep ocean floor isn't the static environment scientists once believed. As researchers analyzed footage from their submersible drones in the CCZ, they noticed something that defied explanation. The seafloor was organizing itself into complex geometric patterns that couldn't be explained by natural processes. Spirals as precise as nautilus shells emerged from the mud. Grids with near-perfect 90-degree angles spread outward like urban planning projects. Interlocking ridges formed mathematical tessellations that would impress geometry professors. These weren't random formations caused by currents or geological processes. They displayed a level of organization that suggested purpose. The team's discomfort deepened when they compared images taken just hours apart. The patterns were slowly shifting and evolving. I have a question for you. First, I would like to say that it is possible to follow the greatest curiosities of our world every day. But to do so, you need to be subscribed to our channel. So, are you already subscribed? If not, take the opportunity to subscribe now. Also, take the opportunity to like the video, so YouTube will recommend more videos from our channel. So leave your like right now. And now that you have done that, let's go. Number 12. The mysterious microbial suspects. When faced with the oxygen anomaly, scientists did what they always do: search for the most logical explanation. The obvious suspects were microorganisms. Despite the harshness of the deep-sea environment, microbes have been found thriving in some of Earth's most extreme conditions, in dry underground soils, within Arctic ice, and near scorching hydrothermal vents. Many of these microorganisms don't need oxygen or sunlight to survive. Instead, they rely on chemical processes involving sulfur, methane, or iron. So when oxygen levels inexplicably rose in the research chambers, the team naturally wondered if some undiscovered microbe might be responsible for this dark alchemy. To test this theory, Dr. Sweetman's team designed experiments to eliminate all biological activity in the test chambers. Number 11. The living matrix. Beneath the seafloor of the CCZ lies something that blurs the boundary between geology and biology. Deep core samples revealed what scientists initially thought was just a complex mineral structure, a matrix of interconnected silicon compounds stretching for kilometers through the sediment. But closer examination revealed something extraordinary. This matrix wasn't entirely mineral. Running through the structure were microscopic filaments reminiscent of fungal networks, but composed of materials never before seen in biological systems. These filaments appeared to channel electrons through the matrix, creating something akin to a vast, slow-operating biological circuit board. When researchers subjected samples to electrical stimulation, the network responded by reorganizing its structure. The material wasn't simply conducting electricity, it was processing it, storing information in ways that resembled primitive computation. Number 10. The hydrothermal time capsules. Hidden among the CCZ's vast plains are geological formations that serve as perfect time capsules of ancient Earth. Researchers discovered dormant hydrothermal vents that have remained sealed for over 100 million years, preserving conditions that existed when dinosaurs roamed the planet. These ancient vents, now cold and inactive, contained chambers that were cut off from the surrounding ocean when mineral deposits sealed their openings. When scientific instruments penetrated these chambers, they found water chemistry matching that of ancient oceans, higher carbon dioxide levels, different mineral compositions, and traces of gases long since depleted from our modern atmosphere. More astonishing still, some of these chambers contained viable microbial communities that have been isolated since the Cretaceous period. Number 9. The quantum communication network. The deep ocean holds a secret that sounds more like science fiction than reality. Scattered throughout the CCZ's expanse are formations of minerals rich in quantum-entangled particles. These minerals, primarily containing rare combinations of transition metals and exotic crystal structures, exhibit properties that allow quantum states to remain coherent at scales and temperatures previously thought impossible. When researchers mapped these formations, they discovered they weren't randomly distributed. They formed a network spanning thousands of kilometers across the Pacific sea floor, with nodal points at precise mathematical intervals. Each node contains crystal formations that appear capable of receiving, processing, and transmitting quantum information. The network's origin remains a complete mystery. It shows evidence of deliberate placement rather than natural formation processes. Number 8. The biological dark matter. Among the strangest discoveries in the CCZ are organisms that defy classification in our existing tree of life. These entities, collectively termed biological dark matter by researchers, share no genetic lineage with known life forms and operate according to biological principles that seem alien to Earth. The most striking examples are microscopic, spherical structures embedded in the seafloor sediment. These perfectly round objects, measuring 50 to 200 micrometers in diameter, contain no DNA or RNA, the information-carrying molecules that define all known life. Instead, they use complex silicate structures that somehow encode and transmit information, directing internal processes with precision comparable to conventional cells. These organisms obtain energy through a process that resembles neither photosynthesis nor chemosynthesis. They appear to directly harvest energy from quantum vacuum fluctuations, theoretically possible according to quantum field theory but never before observed in biological systems. Number 7. The breathing stones. You'd never guess those potato-sized lumps scattered across the seafloor are actually breathing. Yeah, you heard that right. Breathing. Scientists have discovered that the polymetallic nodules in the CCZ aren't just inert chunks of metal. They're actively interacting with their environment in ways that mimic living processes. Dr. Sweetman's team stumbled onto this revelation while investigating the mysterious oxygen readings. In a controlled lab experiment, they isolated individual nodules in sealed chambers, and monitored gas levels. The results were undeniable. These rock-like formations were steadily releasing oxygen, not through any biological process, but through complex electrochemical reactions happening on their mineral surfaces. The nodules contain layers of manganese and iron oxides that formed over millions of years. When these minerals interact with seawater under intense pressure, they trigger reactions that split water molecules and release oxygen as a byproduct. Number 6. The electric ecosystem. Deep beneath the waves, scientists have uncovered an entirely new type of ecosystem, one powered not by sunlight or chemical energy, but by electricity. This revelation began with that mysterious 1-volt signal detected by Sweetman's team, which led to a much bigger discovery, an intricate web of natural electrical currents flowing through the sea floor. The CCZ turns out to be home to what researchers now call an electro-ecosystem, a vast network where natural electrical currents flow between mineral deposits, through sediment layers, and interact with specialized microorganisms. It's like finding a parallel biological universe that runs on completely different rules than surface life. At the heart of this system are specialized bacteria that have evolved to harness these electrical currents directly. Unlike any known organisms, these electrotrophs don't consume organic compounds or use chemical reactions for energy. Number 5. The geological computer. Here's something that'll blow your mind. The CCZ's sea floor might be running calculations. No, seriously. Scientists have discovered structures in the deep-sea sediment that bear uncanny similarities to primitive computing systems, processing information at a geological pace. It started when researchers noticed strange mineral formations beneath the seafloor that couldn't be explained by normal geological processes. These structures consisted of intricate networks of silicon-rich crystals interspersed with metallic elements like copper, gold, and silver, materials that happen to be excellent conductors of electricity. When mapped in 3D, these formations revealed organization patterns similar to logic gates, the fundamental building blocks of computer processors. The mineral networks contain junction points where electrical signals can be directed along different pathways depending on specific conditions, essentially functioning as switches or decision points. Number 4. The magnetic anomalies. The compass goes crazy 5,000 meters down. That's what researchers discovered when they deployed sophisticated magnetic sensors to the CCZ. Scattered across thousands of square kilometers of seafloor are magnetic anomalies that defy conventional geophysical explanations. These aren't slight variations. We're talking about localized magnetic fields up to 400 times stronger than Earth's background field, concentrated in precise locations and patterns. Some form perfect circles with diameters spanning several kilometers. Others create line formations that run for hundreds of kilometers in perfectly straight paths. There's even a massive grid pattern covering an area roughly the size of Ireland. What's particularly strange is that these magnetic formations don't correspond to any known geological structures. They're not associated with volcanic activity, tectonic boundaries, or mineral deposits that would typically cause magnetic variations. They're just there, like someone drew invisible patterns across the seafloor with giant magnets. Number 3. The time distortion zone. 5,000 meters down in the CCZ, time doesn't behave quite like it should. It sounds like science fiction, but multiple research expeditions have documented the same disturbing phenomenon, subtle but measurable distortions in the flow of time itself. It started with atomic clocks, the most precise timekeeping devices humans have ever created. When researchers lowered these ultra-sensitive instruments to the seafloor, they noticed something odd. Clocks in certain areas of the CCZ ran slightly faster or slower than identical devices in other locations, even at the same depth and pressure. The differences weren't large, typically just a few microseconds per day, but they were consistent and couldn't be explained by known physics. According to Einstein's relativity, differences in gravity or velocity can cause time dilation, but the variations in these factors across the CCZ are far too small to account for the observed time differences. Number 2. The silent conversation. There's a conversation happening in the deep ocean that nobody heard until now. Scientists have detected a massive network of signals pulsing through the CCZ, not sound waves or electromagnetic radiation, but something entirely different. Vibrations traveling through the seafloor itself. These vibrations aren't random. They follow complex patterns that repeat with variations. Almost like a language, the signals travel across vast distances through the sediment, connecting different areas of the seafloor in what appears to be a vast communication network. What's transmitting these signals? That's where it gets weird. The pulses originate from those familiar polymetallic nodules, the same breathing stones that generate electrical currents. These mineral formations somehow create precisely controlled vibrations that propagate through the sediment with minimal degradation, reaching distances of hundreds of kilometers. Number 1. The underwater library, hidden beneath layers of sediment. In the CCZ lies an information storage system that makes our most advanced computers look primitive. Researchers have discovered crystalline structures that appear to encode vast amounts of data, not through electronic bits, but through the precise arrangement of atoms themselves. These structures consist of silicon-based crystals interspersed with various trace elements. The distribution of these elements isn't random. They follow specific patterns that can be decoded as information. By using advanced imaging techniques, scientists have determined that these crystals store data at the atomic level, with each cubic centimeter potentially holding petabytes of information, thousands of times more than our most advanced storage media. What's stored in this underwater library? Early analysis suggests it contains detailed records of Earth's past environments, temperature variations, chemical compositions, biological activity, and even magnetic field fluctuations going back millions of years. Now I have a special recommendation for you. Are you seeing this video that is appearing on the screen? Click on it, because I'm sure you'll like it. Well, that's it, and until next time, Curious One.